The Slave Bible. Is the Bible the white man's book? Before I proceed, I want to give all the honor, glory, and praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAWACHAA, QADASH. Double honors to my elders at Great Millstone, taught me the truth, singing honors to the elect. Peace and blessings to the one. There is a confusion of faces in the four corners of the earth. Shalom. I will leave the link of this article in the description box. Rare slave Bible used to legitimize slavery goes on display in Dutch museum. This should also be an indication through this video that the Bible was not created by the so-called white man who will biblically be known as an Edomite, white man, woman, and child, right? The descendants from Esau, who Esau was the brother of Jacob, who the so-called Negro Latinos and Native Americans are descended from. Slavery is in the Bible. All events that happen, like in the world, with the world wars and all the wars of different countries happen, this is in the Bible, right? You can trace all lineages back to the Bible in its secular history. But nonetheless, let's proceed on with this lesson. And this is really aimed at you, people who use the so-called white man give us the Bible as an excuse to not want to believe in it, to believe that this is their doing. No, it's not. Hearken. In the purple, a rare edition slave Bible, a heavily edited version of scripture with omitted, meaning that it's been taken out, references to anything that could promote freedom among enslaved people. Right? So in other words, if the so-called white man created a Bible, why would they create passages that would give people a hope of being free? Huh? Maybe it was something that they got a hold of that was already created, i.e., what I created, transliterated from the original tongues, i.e., King James, the sixth king of Scotland, the first king of England, the founder of the UK, who was an Israelite, a Moor for the tribe of Judah, so to say, right? Jumping down in the blue. Select parts of the Holy Bible for the use of the Negro slaves in the British West India Islands was published in London in 1807 for Christian missionaries. So still during the time of hardcore bondage, right? They were using the Bible as a tool. Think about this. What's the greatest weapon you can have against your enemy? Knowing who they are. If you don't know where you come from, how the hell you know where you're going? In a sense, it's kind of like a child being raised without his or her father. You'll never truly understand who you are because of the characteristics of who you truly are. Your essence comes from your father. Right? There will be certain traits you will carry. Nonetheless, so continuing on again. Is now part of an expedition called Gospel, Musical Journey of Spirit and Hope. The reason why I'm kind of being mellow right now, because I'm going to get to the point when I go to the next screen over so you can understand, right? So here it is. They pretty much took the actual Bible, the King James Version Bible, the 1611 King James Version Bible, and they picked and choose which parts of the Bible they wanted to keep to create a slave Bible. Hearken. According to a museum spokesperson, it was in those locations that Bible texts were used to legitimize slavery and other texts were censored and kept away from the enslaved. I have to read this. This is Psalms 50 and 16 through 17. But unto the wicked God saith, who is the wicked? Esau. Malachi, the first chapter, the 4th verse. The 3rd verse on down tells you that Esau is the board of wickedness. What happened when Antiochus Epiphanes IV started to rule in the Greek and the Greco-Roman Empire? It said that wickedness exceeded throughout the earth. To the Bible. Alright? But unto the wicked God saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? So what have you to do with my Bible, with my word? Right? Verse 17, seeing thou hatest instruction and castest my words behind thee. And that's exactly what they done right here. No different than when Edom sold his birthright to Jacob, because he despised the Lord. We're talking about you inheriting the kingdom, being an inheritance of all because you're the firstborn son and you forsook the Lord for a morsel of meat, right? Wow. Now listen to this. In Amity, all references to freedom. Listen, so they took all freedom out of this slave Bible, right? It is a powerful and chilling reminder of how white, or should I say Edomite, Christians manipulated and misused even sacred texts to control the enslaved and legitimize slavery, said guard him. Let that sink in. So when people say, oh man, the Bible, man, that's the white man's book. You reading the white man's book. You reading the white man's book. Why the frick, forgive me, trying to be educational purposes. Children may be listening. Or it's people who don't like rude language. How in the heck? Why would they create a Bible that speaks about freedom and then use that same tool to enslave people? It doesn't make sense to me. How can the Bible be the so-called white man's book? Why would they have to take redemption and hope and belief out of it if they created it? It doesn't make sense, man. Somebody please help me. Right? Going down to the yellow, that includes the removal of the 5th chapter of Exodus, in which Moses demands Pharaoh set the Israelites free from captivity in Egypt before God makes way for them to leave. Think about that, y'all. Why would they do that? I don't know. Maybe because the Bible said that the Lord's people would go into slavery again to Egypt on the ships, but not a physical Egypt. All right? Not physically Egypt where it is today. It's talking about spiritually a place that's known as Egypt. Because what was the first place of captivity for the Israelites? Egypt. When you go into the Bible, the blue letter Bible, look at the word Egypt in the blue letter Bible or in your concordance. It go back to the word Mizraim, which is one of the sons of Ham. And in the Paleo Hebrew, the Lashon Kodash, the Holy Tongue, is pronounced Matazarium, which means double straits. Strait, which is what? A path of difficulty. So when the Lord said, you shall go into Egypt again by ships, he meant you shall go into slavery again by ships. And that's in the Bible. Listen. Deuteronomy 28:68. And the Lord in all capital letters is Yahawah. And Yahawah shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Or slavery again with ships. Starting to make sense. Once again, secular history quarters with the Bible. The transatlantic slave trade. And don't forget those Ishmaelites, those Saudi Arabians was selling us as well. All right, let's get back to it. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. Shall not see what? The motherland, which is Israel, not Africa. Israel. Thou shalt see it no more again. And matter of fact, I think it's in Galatians 4:26. It speaks about the mother of us all is Jerusalem. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Wonder why they took that Exodus 5th chapter up out of there. We are the same people that walked on the Red Sea. All right. Or what is it? Is it it's not the Gulf of Hamas. The Gulf of Suez, forgive me. Yes. They did walk to the Gulf of Suez. Okay. And what it means by no you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. That if you go into the word buy, it means save you. There's no one here to save us today. There's no representation for the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American in international political affairs. And those politicians today that's also a part of the United States government, aka Babylon, the Babylonian government, you're not accepted. You're only tolerated. Why the hell would I trust someone from another nation to be a part of my government, knowing what I've done to their nation or people? Hell, if you sell out your own people, Why? What make you think I want to sell? Or what make you think that I won't think you trying to sell me out? Look at Judas Iscariot. They gave him 30 shekels of silver, and he betrayed the Messiah, YAHAWASHI. Once that guilt tripped, once that guilt got on him, even the centurions were like, we don't want that money. As wicked as Esau is, even they have somewhat of a moral compass back then. We don't want that money. That's blood money. And guess what he did? Hung himself. Right? So anyways, getting back to it. This is Revelation chapter 22, verse 18 through 20. For I testify to every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book, if any man shall add unto these things, God shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. All right, now listen to this. And if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, God, Yahweh, shall take away his part out of the book of life and out of the holy city and from the things which are written in his book. Right? Why? Because the Lord come in the volume of the book. It is written of him. Every book in the Bible is a Bible. It's called a Bible for a reason. Biblios, a collection of books, i.e. volumes. John is a volume. Micah is a volume. Isaiah is a volume. All right? It's a collection of books, Biblios. Verse 20, he which testifieth these things saith, surely I come quickly. Amen. Even so come, Lord Yahawashi. So, reading this last portion of these slides, and I read, among the removed verses is Exodus 21 and 16, which reads, listen, y'all, you cannot tell me that this is not our book. This is not our book. Okay? Listen. Exodus 21 and 16, which reads, and he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. We were stolen, we were sold, and we're still in their hands because we have what? Social security numbers and birth certificates. We're their property. So you took that passage out of the Bible, right? Okay. Other passages, however, such as Ephesians 6 and 5, which reads, slaves, obey your earthly masters with respect and fear and with sincerity of earth, just as you will obey Mashiach, are included in the book. But see, that's talking about the elders of Great Millstone. And I'm speaking to my perspective. The elders will be our masters on earth, men over us. All right? And Elder Apostle GABAR gave a great example of when the tombstone of where Yahushua was housed at, the level of authority, right? I forgot. Someone was running to there, and they got there before him, and whoever got there before that individual, they knew that they were not of the same rank as the other person, and because they were quicker than them, they waited outside the sarcophagus or whatever before they went in, and they went in after them. Yahushua was a master on earth in the flesh. Come on now, right? Nonetheless, though, the Exodus 21 and 16, they took that out. But guess what? Revelation 13, 9 to 10, I'm going to close out. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So the children of God, the saints, they're waiting patiently for the day that those who led them into captivity shall go into captivity. And they that kill them with the sword must be killed with the sword. That's the patience and the faith of the saints. I.e., how can the Bible be the so-called white man's book when they took the slavery verses out of it? It just don't make sense. But with that being said, I pray you was edified and fed. Stay in the spirit, don't fear it, just endure it. Ask for forgiveness, pray without ceasing, stay humble, remain diligent. Kwam Allah, Mufla Babal, Shalom.